You at the last meeting on Sue Harville. We voted to wait so that Sue could also have an interview because she had an emergency the last time and that's why she couldn't come. So Sue is here. So do you have anything to say, Sue?
I served on the board last year and I really enjoyed it, and I think I could make a continuing contribution to the board.
Now, you not only served on the budget committee, before you were on the budget committee, you also did budget before, right, where you were.
Yes, I handled like over $1 million a year when I was working for the Department of State as a public affairs officer.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I do.
Eli,
I have no questions.
Jerry,
I do. What is your primary residence?
I live 50% in Ashland and I live 50% in Laconia.
But what is your primary? 6 months, 1 day. Where do you spend most of your time?
In Ashland?
Sandra?
I have a question. For Sue.
Yes,
Sue, where do you register to vote?
Ashland.
It doesn't matter.
Excuse me, where do you register your vehicles? Thank you.
You
Jerry,
later.
any other questions? Anybody have any other questions?
No, I do not.
Okay, does anybody want to make a motion?
Is the other person here?
No.
Would you like me to leave so you can talk?
Doesn't matter to me. Does it matter to everybody else? Last time they didn't, but it's up to you. Sandra, did you check on having a alternate?
There is no alternate.
Okay. Okay. So does anyone want to make a motion?
There's a motion on the table, I believe.
There's no motion.
You tabled a motion last week. There's still a motion on the table regarding this
Tabled it to this week.
Yes.
yeah, and it was about this actual subject. So you have to reopen that motion.
Oh, no, because we only tabled it for this week. So this week is when we can open it, I would assume.
I think you have to move to, I'm a little uncertain, maybe Eli knows, but I think you have to move to take it off the table, otherwise it's.
It is still, as of this point, that motion is still on the table.
Okay, so it stays there until, okay, all right.
Until we. vote,
Now,
take it off.
we also are to be fair, before we go back to that motion, Lee Nichols is not here yet.
He told me he was gonna be late, but he didn't know how late, so I'm not gonna wait.
Okay,
But I'm saying I don't know. I don't know when he'll be here or whether he'll be here. I'm assuming he'll be here before the night's over, but I'm not sure when. I mean,
Oh, there's 5 of you. That was-
yeah,
that's odd number. Why don't we step out so you can talk?
okay, okay, that's
I
fine.
feel more comfortable.
That's fine. Go ahead, Sue.
Thank you. If you have any more questions, let me know.
David, you made the motion to table it. Do you want to make the motion to take it off the table?
Why don't we just,
Well, the motion I have for my notes, sorry to interject, The notion of the table is to nominate the other applicant.
Right. That's the motion that's on the table.
Yeah.
Right.
The motion that was on the table was so that we could wait, so that we could have the other applicant, which is Sue,
Right,
be interviewed.
Right.
Right.
So I think
Before we
what
made a decision.
Gary's saying is you gotta vote on her motion to nominate David Angst.
Unangst.
On-
Unangst.
Yep.
Unangst.
Right?
Mm. Well, I think both the candidates are qualified and I'm kind of undecided myself.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what to say about it.
Well, if we have to vote on that motion,
Right.
the motion was made by Sherry
Mhm,
and seconded by Lee.
mhm.
No, first you have to vote to take it off the table.
Well, that's what I asked you and you said no.
Yeah.
So do you want to vote to take it off the table? Do you want to not make a motion to take it off the table?
You could just leave it on the table forever. You could vote the other person in. and- So you don't have.
You
to-
have me totally confused.
You
First
don't
you
have
say
to, what he's
It's a
saying
totally
is,
confusing
you
situation.
you don't have to vote on it, is what he's saying.
Right, you
You
don't.
don't have to vote to take it off the table.
Yeah.
You don't have to take it off the table. You can leave it on the table forever. Right, Eli?
Should not do that.
I wouldn't go that, it leaves something that's unfinished.
Right.
Okay, so you
I-
prefer to take it off the table and vote?
I would prefer, for sake of making sure that all ends are closed, that things, I would prefer to either remove it from the table and act on the original motion by Sherry, seconded by Lee. And go from there.
So Lee, how do you, I know you said, Lee, Eli, you said something about Lee. Are you kind of saying that you think we should wait till Lee gets here? I mean, I don't know what time he's going to be here.
The issue that I feel that I do feel that Lee should be here before we vote so that we more or less have a full board
Mhm.
before we vote on anybody else.
I like that too. I think we should all be in on the decision.
If that's the case, then I think I'm going to go outside and tell Sue that she can leave because I don't know what time Lee's going to be here.
Right.
So why should Sue have to wait around a half hour, an hour?
That's,
Is everybody okay with that?
to me, Jeanette, that's up to you and Sue.
I mean, I don't think we should have her have to sit there and wait, not knowing when, you know. I mean, it could be an hour.
Well, you could call her if you need to at some point. She could return, you know.
For
Yeah.
what purpose?
Well, if she's chosen, then
She
she could come.
doesn't have to return because she's voted in.
How does everyone else feel?
Yeah, you probably should tell her that we're not gonna make a decision right away.
Sandra?
Let her decide.
To be honest, I'd like the motion to be, dealt with right now. There is always going to be someone who's going to be late, who's not going to be here. We don't postpone things because of people being late or not being here. If we decided that he couldn't make it today and couldn't come until the next meeting, would we postpone it till the next meeting and then someone else is not here?
Oh, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know what
I
time
think we
Leah's
should
gonna
take
be
care
here.
of business as it is right now. We have a quorum. Let's take
David,
care
what
of
do you think?
business.
I'd
Otherwise,
rather-
it goes on and on and on.
So I don't care. I just soon wait and have the whole board vote. But if you guys want to, you can make a motion to take it off the table. And if that passes, then vote on it.
Eli?
I would like to make a motion to take David's motion off the table.
I will second that motion.
Okay, motion is to take David's motion to table it off the table. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
David?
Nay.
Oh, wait a minute. Eli said aye.
Mhm.
Sandra said aye. I said aye.
You have to ask Sherry. Yeah.
Sherry?
Nay.
Okay, Sherry said nay and David said nay.
Right.
Okay. So that motion is on the table. Are we gonna wait till Lee gets here or what? How many want to vote on it now?
That's what taking it off the table means, is we're gonna deal with it.
We're going to deal with it.
right
Okay.
now.
Yes.
So we're gonna vote on it now, or discuss it some more.
Yes.
Can we take Lee's vote from last time?
No, he only seconded it. He didn't vote. Do I have a motion?
Well, no, you,
No, we have to
You
vote.
you already have a motion.
it's on the floor.
Okay, the
We're
motion
taking it-
on the floor, made by Sandra Downing, seconded by Lee, was to have Dave be the new member on the budget committee.
Right.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
You need a roll call. Jeanette, I hate to interrupt, but you should have a roll call because you have two people that are zooming in.
What do you mean?
So your vote is by name.
Okay,
Vote by name.
okay. So do I call your name? Is that what I do?
Right.
Yes.
All right. Eli,
I vote aye.
Sherry,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Sandra,
Nay.
Jeanette, nay. Okay, then the new person for the budget committee will be David, and I'll make sure that I get hold of him for the next meeting. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna tell Sue she can leave, and I'll be right back.
Do we have the minutes from the last meeting?
I don't have them with me.
Okay.
So what are we doing next? Start with the town manager stuff?
I don't think I'm wasting my time.
Okay, care if it's recorded or not. I mean, I say what I say. Okay, so I guess what we're gonna do next then is we're going to do the executive department. Charlie?
I have a question.
Right ahead, Sherry.
In executive, line, I don't know what page 3. But I'm on that like spreadsheet one.
Yep.
115. What is office executive overtime?
It was a line that was left over from the last time when we used to have the admin and the finance officer, when the finance and the deputy or assistant town clerk was all combined in years past. I don't know if you guys remember a couple years ago, after the position came open, we had concerns about HR work being done in that position. And so we separated it, and that's how we ended up hiring the finance officer. So it was for overtime purposes for that position.
What number are we on page 3?
115.
So
On page 3, I don't have a 115.
Yes, it's the third line down,
third line down.
under executive office.
Oh, you got
On my page 3, it is not.
It's 01413101115.
Yeah, see, I'm on page 3 of this.
this book, right? This book here that I passed out.
Is that what you're on?
It's on
I'm
page
not on that.
14. Page 14 of the expenditure report.
Is that on?
Yes, sir. That one, page 14.
Right, but it's now $1, so.
Yeah, I reduced it to $1 because the admin assistant position is no longer full-time, it's part-time. But just in case something happens, we just
That
leave it.
person put in 40 hours. a
Just,
week.
yeah, emergency, something happened,
Yeah,
we have a line to expend from.
I was wondering about trustees of trust funds, the reduction from 600 to 500. Why, there are 3 of them, right? So we reduced that.
Because they actually said that they would not take their stipend next year and instead requested $500 for training and
Oh, okay,
other things.
so it's just training, it's no longer
Yeah.
a salary.
Yeah, no stipend.
Charlie, what page is patriotic purposes on?
Uh,
43.
Are we on it?
I have a question.
I want a question, I was gonna ask a question first, I started it. Patriotic purposes, I understand you've got it down to 0, that you put it at 0,
It should be $1.
but is there a reason for it? Because it was like 5,000 or 6,000.
Yeah, well, which,
Thought we were doing.
What page
Right.
is it? We're all over
Page
the place.
43.
Sorry, don't
No,
know
I
what
just
we're
thought
doing.
of it, that's why I asked the question.
the selectmen are not sure.
44, actually.
The selectmen were dissolving the
4th of July.
4th of July committee. And therefore, if there's no 4th of July committee, there wasn't a need for the cover wages and the FICA and the Medicare and the memorial supply. That was really a donation to that was a local donation.
But
So
isn't it-
local donation should be petitioned.
If it's dissolved, they can still have their own 4th of July committee.
Right, well, this covered the emergency wages, police and fire
Police and
And
department.
it didn't, and it covered it whether they were a town committee or not, because before they became a town committee, it was covered.
Right,
It covered the firemen, it covered the police, it covered any other expenses.
well, it just covered that. That's all the town was.
Any
paying.
other expenses for that parade.
Mhm.
Uh,
I don't mean the other stuff. What I mean is like the police, the fire,
That's all it covered,
Wages,
extra police,
right.
stuff like that.
detail work.
Because the 4th of July committee asked me about it because they're thinking of
Yep.
still having a committee.
Right.
And they're going to need that help with the police and the fire, and they're going to have to be paid.
Yeah, that's an awful lot of money to suddenly put on the 4th of July committee to raise. If the town isn't gonna provide those services, how
Yeah.
does the committee come up with that money?
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
it's always been provided to them before when it wasn't a town committee.
Right.
Lee?
I make a motion that we restore the $10,690 to
Wait,
the patriotic
I
purposes.
thought we were just, are we
Huh?
voting on the budget?
No,
already?
we're not voting on it yet. We're just discussing things right now.
Okay,
We're reviewing the
thank you.
budget and then later we're gonna vote on
Wow.
everything, right?
I don't know why
Yeah.
you can't just delete things out as you go. Makes it a lot easier.
Well, we are missing one, our new member for one thing, so,
Whatever.
yeah. But I think the idea is to review the whole budget, then go back through it and make decisions. So you know what,
Right.
everything. the
That's what we
totality
usually
is,
did.
yeah,
We
yeah.
usually discussed it and then voted on it.
I'm in agreement with you, but I think the process should be to review everything first and then make decisions.
I just asked that because I thought.
Well, so overall, I would say between the conversations between me and with the Board of Selectmen, I think it was about fiscal responsibility. I think it was looking at the expense of the taxpayers this year, in particular because of the, pandemic, the upcoming possible recession, that the ability for taxpayers to pay. I think everyone was being very cognizant of that, and we reduced the budget.
But I think that
We
was
re-
not
we
a good
reduced the
place to
budget.
reduce it. That's my own opinion.
Sure.
There is probably going to be a petition warrant article to continue the 4th of July committee as a town committee. And that article will include, a note, part of it will be that the town continue to provide these services as
yeah.
part of the annual budget.
Right.
So that will probably appear as a separate
Well, the
item.
4th of July
Right.
committee called me and asked me.
Sure,
Okay.
and that's within their right,
Right.
absolutely. And if it's approved, then sure, we add it into the budget.
Right.
But the petition warrant article, I don't think has a number for at least the version I've seen of it, for how much money to put in the budget.
Yeah.
So I
It
get,
probably should have though.
So as you can see consistently over the years that from 2016 to 2019, I would say it's been about $9,000 to $10,000
right,
expended.
Right. Yeah,
so-
mainly because it's more expensive to pay the police, to pay the fire than it used to be, Lee, did you have something to say?
I was gonna say, from 2016 to 2020 so far, there has been zero going against streetlights. So if we delete the streetlights, we can now cover that amount for patriotic.
No,
it
No, you
doesn't
can't.
change the tax impact.
Does it? No,
Because
you
call it a
can't.
wash.
I say this every time, Lee.
You call it a wash, but you're not showing any revenue from the electric department
I'll show-
intake. You're not showing any expenditures.
Okay,
Well, yeah, there is revenue.
that's right, yeah.
No, there's not. That's from other sources. You look back at the 6 month, and it's more than what it's showing there for streetlights from the electric department.
So Memorial Day has been going to the American Legion post
Mhm.
for flags and things like that, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
That's only $1,000, right?
Have they been spending that amount?
Yes.
Yeah, they
Okay.
did.
Okay, because the Memorial Day ceremony itself is not large,
No,
so it's mostly for flags.
flags, yeah.
Okay. Of course, the Heritage Commission was down to $1, which is, I have to admit, the Heritage Commission hasn't done anything this year.
I don't even know if the Heritage Commission meets.
No,
No, we haven't met. So there's really not much we can do in this circumstances, you know,
Well,
so.
because Sue's not on the Heritage Committee anymore, Sue McLeod.
Well, there is a commission.
Who's
but
on it now?
Kendall, the Harvilles, me, and anybody else? I'm not sure. But it's sort of like the 4th of July committee. There's, what can you do? So. Anyway, this is all something to discuss and voted on.
Hey, Charlie, do you have anything to say about executive? Because that was mainly what we started
Right,
with,
yeah.
and then I really left that out.
Yes, I still have a question.
Sherry?
So on page 14, back to page 14. You got the default budget with an extra $2,550 in it.
Yeah.
And that's just for emergency in that
no, the default budget,
happens because why is the default padded an extra like $500 in certain lines, $100, $50, $300?
because the default budget carries over from the prior year, plus or minus any increases or contractual obligations. So essentially, as you can see, I reduced it. The request of the executive budget is a reduction from last year.
There's a difference in Medicare from last year.
Yeah, that was a mistake from last year.
So there was a mistake
Yeah,
last year.
yeah, mistake in that Medicare. That was the
So-
spreadsheet area. I caught that one.
So that's like $900 right there.
Yeah, yeah. No request for restoration of books. There's another, that was $2,000. So there's almost 3,000.
Well, I'm just trying to look for the differences.
Yeah, that's another $2,000 difference.
Well, not from last year.
Yes, 2021, the voted, there was $2,000. I reduced it to 1,000.
No, but last year is, in this case, is 2020, right?
Yes,
So the default for this year is therefore 2,000
mhm.
anyway. So it hasn't changed. I mean, just,
For the default, but
For
for
the
what
default,
they're
but I was talking
proposing, they
about the
reduced
proposed.
it from $2,000 to $1.
Yeah, you're looking for the $4,000 difference. Half of it is in
there
that
isn't
line.
there's like the difference is in Medicare. That's the entire difference. It's $900.
And you got $1,900 in registration and books too.
No, I mean, the difference between last year's budget
Mhm.
and the default budget is the Medicare.
Oh,
amount.
sorry. I was looking at,
She was asking why the default budget was
Sorry.
different.
mhm.
So it's the Medicare mistake
Yeah.
from last year that was corrected.
Yeah.
That's why the default budget
Largely,
is
yes.
larger.
Correct.
Okay. So executive printing goes up. I was curious about that. Oh, that's line 5.
That's tied to the town report. And if you look at the expenditure reports, it was about $1,800.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's just an increase in the town.
yeah,
report.
yeah, it's the town report. I didn't budget enough the year before, so I came up a little bit this year to make sure it's sort of covered.
Mhm.
Financial administration? That's under executive, right?
What page is that?
No, we're still on executive.
Yeah, but financial is under executive. You're in charge of that, right, Charlie?
Some stuff. It's tax collector too.
Okay.
But yeah, for the most part.
Back on executive
Sure.
report. The copier lease has gone up. Is that correct? Is that just supplies or what?
Yes, that's supplies.
Okay.
Sorry, let me see what line that is here.
Oh, it's in the middle.
440.
440, yeah.
That's the monthly fee, and it's also based on number of copies that were used. So that line will probably go over by the end of the year.
Okay. All right, I'm done with.
Anybody else have any questions? Please?
No, I just gotta find it, that's all. My question is why does the tax collector and town clerk salary jumping?
Yeah.
And just about everybody else's is not.
Wait a minute, where are we?
I think we're on election, you moving on to election?
Oh, are we moving?
Well,
Well,
so
actually,
we
election
should-
and registration, we're gonna do when Patsy does it, when Patsy will do it herself. She'll be one of the department heads, which we will have
Yeah.
at the next meeting.
Well, I mean, I can still answer it. I mean, unless the employee had a contract, all employees got a 3% increase. Because the union has a 1% step increase and a 2% COLA.
Okay,
So instead of playing, I guess you can say favoritism, I said, I recommend we do 3% across the board, okay? With that being said, the clerk line, the selectmen came up on the salary line in the event that the person retires or someone else is elected, because there's the split between longevity
Mm.
and clerk salary. Whereas if there was someone new, then that person wouldn't get the longevity.
Mhm.
They would get the salary. So basically they came up a little bit on the salary side of things.
okay.
That line, so you know, has been underfunded for the past couple of years because it hasn't been in the budget, but after the budget passed, the selectmen still gave the raise to coincide for all employees.
Right.
I
Okay,
was under the impression that that has always been in the budget.
No,
but what you're saying, you're going across the board, but I don't see anything in there for the tax. For the finance officer, I don't see a 3% there. I don't see a 3% for the.
because that is
You said
on,
across the board.
I did, I'm not done. That is being expended on the utility side.
Oh, the increase?
Yeah.
Okay.
So some protecting against taxation and adding it on with the budget for the utilities.
Deputy,
how
the
about-
deputy tax clerk, I don't see any increase in that. I don't see any increase in the treasurers.
No, no, the comments about the treasurer was it's an elected position and the selectmen felt the increase should go to the voters.
Well, of course,
Okay.
part of that is paid through the electric, right?
Yes.
There's no increase for the town manager, why, or is that? in-
Utilities.
Okay.
Okay, you don't want to increase hers because she's an elected position, is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
What about the town clerk tax collector? She's an elected position
Is that
too.
an elected position?
Yeah, there was
So
a lot. I recommend you go back and watch the video. There was a heated debate by the selectmen about that one. So, I can't speak to it one way or another. I know a lot of towns, over 95% of them have the town clerk tax collector's budget salary. It's in the budget because otherwise you probably wouldn't be able to fill the position if you don't offer benefits.
Right, full-time job.
So
As opposed to the
Yeah.
part-time jobs.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I don't have an
The-
answer,
the
right?
ta- the
There's no right
town-
or wrong answer to
the
it.
town treasurer has not had an increase in the taxes for quite some time.
But hers is a part-time position too.
Mhm.
Don't make any difference.
No, I'm just saying, it's not
You've
a
got,
full-time
you've got
position.
guys down there at the transfer station that are part-time. They're getting that 3%.
They're union.
Don't make
Correct.
any difference.
Yes. Yeah.
He said it was across the board, and what I'm saying, you're not going across the board.
Mhm. So how long has it been since the treasurer got a raise?
That's all I'm saying. I don't,
Okay.
I'm not picking on
She got
anybody.
a-
I'm
Didn't
just,
she get a 3% last year? Along with Patsy? I mean, along with the town clerk, tax
No.
collector, whatever it was?
No.
she didn't get a raise last
Wish
year
I
because
had
you went
my-
default.
My papers, I don't.
She didn't get a raise? No, some of them didn't because we went to default, even though we voted it in.
The union they had to pay the union,
The Contract, yeah, so.
but because Patsy, or the town clerk tax collector's in there, she didn't get a raise because it's in the budget. And the budget went default.
Now that we were talking about financials, I understand you're gonna be hiring a full-time financial person?
Yep.
Why?
We're short-staffed. We need the help.
Isn't Kathleen full-time?
Yes.
Kathleen is in
Yeah.
there? And then you have Caitlin.
No.
Is Kathleen the only financial person there?
Yes. Yeah.
And Kathleen, and she's full-time, you said, with benefits.
Mhm. Yeah, we have one finance director and we have one billing clerk. We took on the utilities. They had 3 full-time staff handling the utilities.
Is Caitlin the
We have
billing?
2.
Is Caitlin the billing?
No. Caitlin's the admin assistant underneath me. That helps.
17,000.
That helps. Yeah, it's a part-time, 17,000 is the budget.
So
for
who's
that.
doing the payroll and everything?
Catherine? The ladies in the office are very
I-
busy.
Jeanette,
Yeah.
ask who's doing the billing
Yeah.
Who's doing the billing?
for water and sewer and electric.
Ann
One-
is.
Yeah, one clerk that does the billing for all.
I knew
the
she was, I knew Ann was, Eli. Yeah,
Okay, but there's the answer to the question of why we need another person. One person is actually doing the job of what was done by at least 1.5 other people.
so what you're saying is that full-time financial person will be also helping with the billing?
Yes.
So is that
Is
person,
that, hold on, is that what you're saying, Eli?
I believe that's what I've been told.
Yes.
so is, where's that new financial person getting their funding from? Is it from the utilities
Utilities.
entirely?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not in this budget at all?
It is, it's in the utility.
Well, no, but it's not
Water,
in
sewer, and
the,
electric.
the financial page we're looking at now.
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah.
So that new person is not, that her being paid full-time is not gonna affect the tax rate because it's
correct,
taken
Correct.
out of the utilities.
correct.
That's it.
okay.
And is it true that they're moving back down to the electric building?
No.
No, you can't see him shaking his head here.
Sorry.
Have to speak.
Use your words, Charles.
I heard it, yeah.
I was wondering about budget committee expense. We got cut in half. How did that happen?
What page are you on, David? please?
On financial, I thought.
Yeah,
that's where we were.
17.
Yeah, we're at the bottom of financial.
On 17, is that what you said?
Yes. Plus, we didn't spend anything yet. But
No.
Yeah, but the thing is, those books are expensive. We really should have those.
So,
Well, I mean, my philosophy in preparing this budget is that I looked at the 4-year averages and then I looked at what was, where it was at the time, and currently look at the budget right now in the expenditure report, as of 11/9, the budget committee has $400 budgeted. There hasn't been an expenditure in it. And the average was around $200 in prior years. So
Okay.
I said, I'm not gonna recommend continuing to fund lines that aren't completely being used.
Well, what you
Because
had
in the end, I mean, this is, every penny counts, and this is, I am cognizant of how this is taxpayer money, and that we need to be fiscal responsible going into this recession.
Charlie, what you had told me with that, I asked you about buying the books and you said with COVID, you didn't feel that we should be having the books, that it should be, yeah, you said that to me. You said that to me a while ago. Because
I
I
don't-
wanted to buy books for everybody. I wanted to make sure that we had the book in our hand. And that's what you said. You said because of COVID, you said I thought you said you emailed it to us, or you were gonna email the book to us.
Well,
The only thing that, knowing the territory was emailed to us by NHMA.
That was the one we were talking about, knowing the territory. That's the budget book.
No, that's different.
This is the basic law. of
Yeah,
budgeting.
there's two different books. Knowing the territory is one that,
Well, I really think that all of us should have a book on budgeting.
well,
I mean, mine is old, Sanders is old.
yeah, mine's 2017. I think, I've gone 4 years without a new book. I'm not asking for too much.
No, I think
And
we
also-
also.
hey,
have
if
a-
anyone wants a book, send me an email, we order it.
So how
Well-
much do they charge?
Want a
them?
book?
What, from email we print it out, is that what you're saying?
No, no, no.
No,
I mean, we
I'm
can
gonna
look into
email
it.
Charlie, anybody
get
that
you
wants a
one of
book.
those.
Do you want a
Oh, yeah.
book?
No, I'll take one, yes.
Sherry, do you want a book?
Yeah,
Eli? You probably
Of
have.
course.
Okay, David?
There goes that line.
How much are they?
David? I think
Sure,
they're 35 bucks.
Congratulations, Charlie.
Just-
David?
oh,
Well,
Just a
okay, if
second.
you're gonna order them for everybody.
Okay, I want
forget
one.
how
Sandra,
long
you
mine-
want one.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't know how old
And
mine
I'll-
is. I think it is.
I
about
think
10 years.
David already bought himself one, didn't he? He had one that night.
David,
That's
Oh.
that's
Oh.
my question, is that he's going to be new. He needs to go to the,
Yeah, usually they go to the new
and what
person.
is the cost of,
I mean, I think they're easily $50 a piece.
no, what is the cost of the training?
is there any training?
I don't even know if they're having it. It was, well, actually, I think it's gone. It was actually, it's in September.
Any training will be done
Uh,
on Zoom or online because
Yeah,
that's how I had
yeah,
to do all the
yeah.
training for the town clerk tax collector.
Is it?
Okay.
So we need to buy a book for whoever.
I think he
fills the
said,
slot?
He had his
he had the
own
book, didn't he?
He bought it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he bought it. Oh,
That shows dedication.
Okay.
yeah, he saved us some money.
Charlie, I think they're $35.
I don't know off the top of my head.
I went on a few months ago and I think it was 35. And Sherry.
They're
and
not
Dave-
that,
and
I'll be
Eli
honest with you,
went
if you guys
too.
have
There's
the old
1,
ones, they're
2,
not
3,
that
4,
different.
5, 6.
Probably not.
There's not that much difference in them.
Actually, I want the electronic one.
Is that cheaper?
Might be.
I don't need paper.
Some of us want the hardcover books, Charlie. I will email you to remind you.
And actually, the 217 and the 216, that's a year,
So that's $175.
They,
Well,
and I said 200, David.
Right. So where do our like?
That's our, the rest of it's for our snacks.
Okay.
So where do the expenses like for posting notices and things like that for the budget hearing?
Executive.
Okay, so it's not,
No.
so essentially, budget committee just covers our books and training.
Training, yeah.
So.
If you look in the back of the book, David, under the appendixes, I have line items that explain
okay,
what
sorry.
each one they are. And not just for you, so everyone knows, 41, 90, 60, you know, just expenditures by the budget committee.
Oh, well, that's. fine.
So whatever you guys vote upon, you want books, you know,
Well,
coffee
really,
and donuts for your meetings,
well,
I
yeah,
think we should have a pizza.
pizza.
School board always.
I don't know, the
That's
taxpayers
right.
will think about that, but Yeah.
School board orders pizzas and they get a salary too. Then we'd have to decide on what kind of pizza. I think it would take us half the evening.
We'd have to put it in 4 different sections, David.
So maybe 200 is enough. We'll see.
What pages is on here? Anybody else have any other questions?
In finance. So-
Go ahead, David.
I just. Oh, okay. I just saw why tax postage went down, that's based on experience. Okay,
Tax postage.
yes.
Yeah, and plus, where was it there? She's got to still, she has to still send out the second billing.
Right, it does, but. You want to spec 400. So, yeah.
It might not be posted. How the postage works is the machine, when you go to mail something in the machine, you're gonna put town office, you have to put, any like the department, and then when finance gets the time, has to go over there and print out that.
Oh,
And then once finance gets that, it gets posted to the line for, it could be land use, it could be executive, it's town office. And also with that, usually with the billing, Patsy goes through the electric department's postage machine,
mhm.
and then the town just pays AED for it. Because
Oh.
AED has a better, larger machine to handle the volume.
Okay, all right,
We have a little machine. They've got one where you can process,
okay.
1,700 bills a month.
Charlie, on general assistance, you put $1,000 in there for raise for the
Yep.
person that was doing it.
Mhm.
But she passed away the other day, so we really should take that raise away
Where are we again?
because you don't know who's gonna take their place, and no
Welfare
matter who it
assistance.
is, you don't know if they had experience or anything. So, I mean, I don't think we should leave the $1,000 raise in
Where are
there.
you, Jeanette? I'm lost.
On page 37,
Uh,
37.
yeah.
Way ahead of us.
Well, I thought, I've got these things written down. I want to make sure I brought them up.
Well, it's something for us to vote on, you know.
Yeah, but I wanted to mention it to Charlie too, because Charlie's the one that put it in there, so where she's deceased.
Yeah, that makes sense. So. property tax. So, property tax, are we moving on to that? We're done.
Just let me know what page, David, so I keep.
Property taxation is on page 18.
Mhm.
You can see it went down significantly in 2019 from about 44,000 to 11,000. That's because we had just completed the reval.
Mhm.
So there wasn't, they didn't have to do the 4-year revals every 5 years. It was basically, it's an off year.
Mhm.
Speaking of tax, have you guys set the tax rate yet?
Nope, I sent the email to DRA yesterday to sort of say, what's going on? Are we ready yet or not? We had to wait to complete the MS1 because of, we had to outsource the utility assessments. State passed House Bill 700 that basically DRA is no longer assessing the utilities, and it's on us to do. And utilities, this doesn't mean Ashland Electric, water and sewer. This is the utility companies that own the poles, the lines that come through town, the Eversource equipment they have over there. That was outsourced to George Sansucci. That was recently completed, and we're getting in. I'm trying to get us in line to do it sooner. DRA has maybe, last I knew, 3 clerks for all the towns in the state, all the schools and the villages. Each one, they have to go through and set the rates.
Hmm.
So, but I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to get us in line sooner rather than later.
Lee?
So they assess the cable companies because they pay rental to the Ashland.
Well, they assess that equipment that's over there, the
Eversource.
transmission, the Eversource,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
The
You
substation,
know,
yeah.
the hydro dam,
Mhm.
hydro got assessed. And, you know, the poles and the conduits that
Yeah, but what I'm
we
saying,
don't own,
okay, but the cable companies that are on the poles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are split between the phone company and us.
Yeah.
They pay
Yeah.
rental to both.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they assessed those companies.
No, it's PSNH and I don't think I think it's consolidated. I remember correctly off the top of my head.
I don't know why, oh, Consolidated is phone,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know. They change names all the time.
It went up quite a bit. I
Yeah.
mean, like $3 million. You know, went up $3 million.
Oh, the assessment here?
Yeah, the assessor, they've been under assessed for years.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's nice. For them, not for us, not for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
They'll probably pass it on to us in a different way.
Maybe.
Uh, So I'm just curious, if there are no payments for appeals in this year, the tax assessment appeals, nobody appealed there?
Well, that's for BTLA. What goes to BTLA?
Oh, I see. That
Yeah.
goes to the next
Yeah.
level. All right.
Technically, we might have one that's gonna go there next
Oh.
year, but I don't know how much it's gonna charge, but I don't, you know, I'll
Is that
take the
utility?
chance, bottom line budget with
Yeah.
the budget, and see where we get with that. But we probably have a case next year with the hydro.
Oh.
Hydro dam.
Okay.
Charlie, when we do the water and sewer and the electric, are you the one that's gonna be presenting it or who?
We certainly can. I mean, I'm here for every meeting.
So do you have someone from,
Electric,
Electric,
Craig and I, if needed.
Rusty.
Yeah.
Rusty's from water and sewer? David?
I'm done with
Oh.
property tax.
Legal's another, I'll continue right on to legal.
Mhm. I mean,
Basically, anyone's guess as to where that might land. We all feel comfortable with having $20,000 as a start.
Are we all done with the other?
Nope,
No,
nope.
okay.
We'll probably do another contingency fund warrant article to take from unassigned to support the legal line.
oh, that's where you're gonna get the money.
In case things go over. Now, we did include this legal in case anything happens. I recommended we reduce the land use legal. That's been in the budget for quite some time as to whether or not they needed separate counsel because town and land use zoning and planning board legal needs to be separated counsel. To me, legal bill's legal bill. So if they, I basically told them if they got a bill for land use that's legal, it's gonna go to this line. It's no longer separated out. And that line in land use had not been used for quite some time.
So
That's actually,
when we do the department heads, Charlie, it doesn't matter which ones we do first because they're all completed, right?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, I might as well address it now. I don't know if every department head's going to come to these meetings. Because department heads, we reduced the budget, and having department heads come asking for more money is undermining against the selectmen and myself. And that does not go over well, I don't think. I don't think the department heads are obligated to come if they don't feel comfortable.
They are, but the reason we like them is because it's their department. They're the ones that are running it, and we. Can
It's
ask them.
our budget.
But it's-
I oversee the budget.
But it's their department and they run it. I'm not
responsible
saying
for
about
the
money,
budget.
Charlie. I'm not saying about a raise or anything.
Right.
I'm just saying, I think David I know always like to have the department head comes and talks with them. I know Sandra did. I do. I think Lee does.
There's always been that way.
I don't see any reason why you feel that maybe they shouldn't come. I don't understand that.
Well, I just said.
But that's not
I mean,
right.
we reduce budgets, and that's put them in a awkward position.
Why does it put them in an awkward position if they're just explaining out to us why they are using that money or why they need that money? To me, that's not awkward. It's just, I think the town and as budget committee member,
Because
I think we have a right to know what they're using that for.
I am telling you, it's all right there, but we are telling you, we are able to run the department on less than what was requested.
That's fine, but
And
it
then the
doesn't
fact
have
that you're
anything to
gonna
do with
ask
the money. It
more-
has to do with their department. We're not gonna question them
This is all about money. though,
about a
isn't it?
raise or anything, but we want it to come from them, why
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 the
they're
selectmen
doing-
reduced the budget?
no,
Yeah,
why they're running.
I want to know.
Well, I want to know how they're running their department with the money that they have.
Right.
And you said it comes from you, but that's not the same.
I think we
Sandra?
had. oh,
I have a
sorry.
question.
I mean, go ahead.
My question is that we are proposing a new budget
Mhm.
for next year. And it is the budget committee's budget that we are proposing for next year.
So
Doesn't,
let me ask you a question
well,
on that. then.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
It doesn't belong to the town. It doesn't belong to the Board of Select. It belongs to the budget committee and we set the budget.
Mhm.
And at the heading of each of these lines, it has the department, it has the town manager, it has the Board of Select, it doesn't have the budget committee.
Because
And-
you guys haven't recommended or voted on anything
Right,
yet.
right. But when we do,
Yeah.
it will say that.
Right.
And what is nice is that when, we do the budget and we look at what the budget was last year and what has been spent, for the year, to have a department head come to the budget committee and say, and this is just an example, is that, we had $10,000 in that line and we spent $10,500, but you,
Mhm.
as an executive, you've lowered, their, but, well, we'd like to know from them why they need more money. Now, we may side with you, or we may side with the, but we'd like to hear two sides of the story. We're only listening to your side of the story. We like to listen to the guy who runs the department.
Mhm. I think we.
But
have-
I'm the guy that signs off on everything.
But it's still,
And
they're the
let me
ones
ask you,
that run
let
the
me ask you, let me
department.
follow up and ask you something on that.
Sure.
So the budget committee is gonna add more money to the budget that we recommend be lower than last year.
We could if we wanted to.
We could.
Sure.
Absolutely.
You're gonna,
We're not saying we're gonna do
that,
that.
I just cannot, well, I'm sorry, folks, I cannot believe that, is that the budget committee is gonna add more money
Charlie,
to
we
a
did
budget
not,
that we recommend
we did
to run
not
the
say
town
that.
lower. You
We
just
said
told me
we
that.
could.
Yes, no, yes. I
We
am
said
saying-
we could.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
saying yes to Charlie,
We don't
you know,
have
that
a
we,
plan.
that we could. We could.
We didn't say we are going to,
Right.
Charlie.
We just want to understand.
We said the budget committee can if they want to.
And it may be
Yes,
even
okay,
less
and
than
that being
yours.
said, and I am telling you that if the department heads do not feel comfortable coming to discuss that because of a reduction in their budget, they are not obligated.
I'm not sure of that. I think they are obligated.
I think they are
I
How?
By the
think they,
budget
you know,
law,
I'm gonna
yeah.
The
look
budget
at-
law says we are provided any information that we have that doesn't pertain to personnel.
Lee?
Going through there, just looking real quickly,
Sure.
it appears that everything that says department was put in there by you,
No,
not by the department head.
no, that's what the department heads requested.
The only one, so you accepted everything that they wanted, and so did the board of selectmen, basically,
For the most part,
with
we
the
accept,
exception of the fire
with
department.
the exception for a few, yeah, for the most part. I mean, so what happened was I said to the department heads, prepare a budget, obviously. They provided one back. I prepared one. We sat down, we discussed lines, and we felt that there were changes in that. They had made changes when we sat down and discussed. And then when ones that we didn't come to an agreement on, like I'll give you an example, the grant line, for example, in the police department, we said, okay, we'll just basically send it along to the selectmen and the budget committee. So yes, overall, the two budgets are relatively close, except for,
The
there's
only
a
one that I
big
saw-
difference. Yeah, there's a big difference in the fire department.
The only one that I saw that didn't say the same amount of money
Yep.
from department, town manager, board of selectmen.
Yep.
Every one that I looked at,
Mhm.
with the exception of the fire department,
Mhm.
fire department.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
what we're trying to say is, it appears,
Mhm.
and I'm just saying it appears,
Yeah.
that you told the department head, this is what we're gonna give you, period.
No,
Because why would they all
no,
be the same figure all down the line?
no.
Why do you kind
Because
of,
we both prepared a budget and sat down and agreed upon lines. And the ones that weren't completely agreed upon, got kicked over to selectmen and to the budget committee.
Charlie, I don't know how anyone else feels right now, but I feel that you do not want those department heads to come in and see us. I feel for some reason you don't want them here, and I'm very, very concerned about that. I don't think that's fair for you to do that.
Okay,
Lee?
And also, and I don't recall what RSA it is, but it's budget committee. And it says that you submit the budgets as we want. So that also includes your department heads.
Can I read the RSA?
Yes, please, Sandra.
The RSA is 3216. States that the budget committee must confer with the governing body or bodies and with other officers, department heads, and other officials relative to estimated costs, revenues anticipated, and services performed to the extent deemed necessary by the budget committee. The budget committee also has the authority to request directly from department heads. It's an RSA.
what RSA is that?
It's
3216.
Okay,
You want to read it? It's right here.
yeah, I'll look it up. Oh, sure. Yeah, that's all.
There's more to it than what I read, but I wasn't gonna read the whole thing.
Well, I don't personally think confer means that they have to attend if they don't want to.
They never objected before to attend.
Well, it says
Yeah, I
right
don't
here, it's
understand that every
3217.
single year for
Put 3217.
years, Charlie, the
3217, okay.
Yeah, because it says the budget committee also has the authority directly from, so it's direct.
Mhm.
It's not, you give me a piece of paper from the department head. It's direct from department heads.
Statements, request statements directly.
Right.
That's different than attendance.
Charlie, I'm really concerned right now, and I want to keep my cool.
Why are you
For
concerned?
years, the department heads have been meeting with the budget committee, and now all of a sudden, you don't think they
I don't think they have to, no.
uh,
They-
what are you hiding?
we reduced their budgets. And when they come back and advocate for more money after we said to the town that we were requesting a lower budget than last year to run the town for you, and the budget committee is gonna undermine us and add more money to the budget.
We didn't say that.
All right, can I,
That's-
I'm gonna end this. right-
Sandra, go
Can I
ahead.
end this right now?
I did not say that the budget, that the department heads aren't coming to,
This is
the
in your
meeting.
favor. Would you let me?
I
read
didn't
this?
say that they just said they weren't obligated.
They don't have to come.
I said obligated.
They don't have to come.
No,
I'll read
yeah.
it to you.
Go ahead.
All right. I'll also read this too. Where there is a town manager, all officers and departments, budgets are submitted to the manager. The manager prepares a recommendation to the select board, and it goes on as far as date and all that. It
Mhm.
also says that the budget committee does not have the authority to require any of the officials or employees to attend budget committee meetings. So Charlie is right.
Did I see that?
I gotta get myself one of those books.
Yeah.
Well, you read further. There was a long.
I haven't
it
looked
was-
at it. for
Well,
a
it's there,
while,
and you
but-
were right. They do not have to come.
But I think
They
But
always
on a
have.
whole, the budget committee likes meeting with them, Charlie.
We do, but they don't have to, and we don't have the authority to have
Well,
them
we
come.
have the authority to request statements directly from department heads. You know, they're
That's
also
right. Those
send
are
them
statements, but they
questions.
do not have to be here in person.
It does say, it shall be the duty of all such officers and other persons to furnish such pertinent information to the budget committee. Says nothing about doing it in person.
I just read that, Eli, that they
Yeah.
do not, we do
That's
not
just-
have the authority to do that.
Okay,
That's right.
if we have questions, we can still require answers.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
And
And,
it goes
Anything
through
you-
the- it
anything
goes
you need.
through the town manager.
and we can request that they attend the meeting.
Yes, we can,
Lee,
but we don't have the authority to make them come.
Lee?
You're right.
Thanks. Thank you.
Last meeting, we requested we could receive all revenues and all expenditures. And I realize it's putting a lot of pressure on Catherine, I'm sorry. But at the same time, this is the fourth month in a row
Mhm.
that the expenditures for the electric department on QuickBooks has not been involved in the budget figures that we get.
Wow.
The fourth month in a row. The first month I brought it up and she emailed back and said, thank you for
Right.
picking that up. It's very difficult to try to figure out budgets and all this and that without this information. A lot of stuff's not being put in there. It's the same thing, and I appreciate what you said when I emailed you back. The difference between the July expenditures and August expenditures. But did,
Okay, so with the electric department, we reduced that budget too.
no, I'm
So-
going back to the email that I sent you back, and then you said, sorry, I delayed.
The line
getting back to
items,
you."
yeah, the stipend
It's a,
line.
it had to do with the stipend?
Yeah.
Why was the the fire department reduced, but the police department was not? Because it's stipend for both.
Yeah. Because that line that you
And-
caught was wrongfully posted to the fire department when it shouldn't have been. It was a COVID expense.
Yeah, but it's a stipend, $15,000 stipend.
Well, I mean, it was.
My understanding
COVID.
of stipend is it's supposed to go over and above their salaries, over and
Yeah,
above the
it
salary
did.
line.
It did.
It can't be if you deleted
The
you deleted
15,000.
out everything from August.
Yeah.
You're showing no wages to the fire department. You can't tell me they didn't have men on call and that. And then you go back to July and there was a $500 reduction from that one.
So Lee, I don't understand where you're trying to go with this, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, you're talking to me about an error, an accounting error in it. When the fire department salary line has 17% remaining as of 11/9, right? The fire department salary line should have 13.46% remaining for the rest of the year. So there's about 4 to 5% remaining in that budget for that, so that line won't go over. When it comes to the fire department, right now, this year, there's $177,000 budgeted. We came up on that line this year, and recommended 193,000 in order to cover the per diem program and also to give all the firefighters a 3% raise. Some of the firefighters in that budget have not had a increase since 2009. So we came up on that line in the budget this year.
This came out to us on September 1st.
Exactly. I understand that, but I don't understand I'm telling you, it was an accounting error.
What I'm saying is your salary is that. This came out on August 1st
Right?
and your salaries here are $500
Yeah.
more than what was the following month.
And I told you, and I showed you in the detail, it was this, I showed all the budget committee. I pulled the detail and it was an accountant posted the hazard stipend pay to that line and made the adjustment.
Yeah, but
It's been corrected and I'm showing you now that they adjusted it and there's 17% left.
Well,
So,
what
but
I'm-
like I'm saying is I don't understand where you're going with this for us. I mean, we're
Because-
talking about the budget. We're talking about next year's budget. We're talking about making sure there's a proper appropriation to fund the fire department. And if this goes over this year, we always say it, bottom line budget, we have to figure it out.
What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of discrepancies in this stuff that I'm finding. And what I'm saying is when something is expended, you showed a wage
Yeah.
in September, the wages of one figure, how can it drop the following month by $500?
Well,
It's miscoded.
It's already
I
been
just told
expended.
you, I showed it to you. It was an accounting adjustment.
If somebody miscodes something, it screws up everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
But
give you
why-
another example here where there's an error that I mentioned to Catherine this morning. If you look at the patriotic purposes
What
line,
page you on?
I'm on.
I
the
don't care about that. I'm talking about fire.
you're
I'm
on the
talking
other one,
about
okay.
September.
Expenders.
I'm talking about July and August.
So there's an error in there that says $550. Well, we didn't have a 4th of July emergency coverage. Right? So
Let's start the issue.
I'm not
You're getting
skirting an
away from what
issue.
I'm trying to talk about.
I don't understand your point.
Saying there's a
The
mistake.
point is, you showed the fire department and also the police department on the COVID on the back as their stipend
Okay?
expense.
Yeah.
Why? Don't tell me that the fire department didn't spend money or did the stipend wipe out all of the salaries for the guys in August? Because it didn't do it for the police department.
Okay.
You're saying there was a mistake in July, right?
No,
Yeah, look at the detail.
There was a mistake in coding in July
Yeah.
that was corrected. So that's all. Anyway.
Yep.
Can I get back to legal?
Sure, go
Yeah.
right ahead.
So where do we, I mean, we spent 170 13,000 in 2019, but we seem to be down this year to, well, we're gonna spend more than.
Yeah.
legal.
Right.
So do you have any projection? I know that's very hard to do.
Well, I mean, at least
Uh,
you could figure, there's, the 20,000 has been completely expended this year, and if you look in the back of your new expenditure report, the 25,000 is just about expended, so,
The capital reserve one.
yeah, no, the contingency fund,
Oh,
so it's all, for the most part, legal, so you're easily at, 40, well, yeah, it has been updated, the recent bills have been updated. I mean, there's $200 left in that contingency. So you've got 25,000 and 20,000 this year, easily 45,000 in legal, and you still have November and December to go.
So is there,
So legal's going over again, David.
so is, the plan is to just leave this 20,000 and then have a warrant article for the
Yes,
contingency
yes,
fund?
sir.
Have you tried to estimate what that contingency fund would be yet? or-
To at least 25, at least 25. But
So-
legal will definitely go over this year.
And next year probably as well?
Well, I mean, probably not as much because, I mean, this is the litigation case against the town that is right now before the Supreme Court. So, and whether or not that rolls over into January and February, I don't know. But there's definitely going to be legal expenses to get to the point before the Supreme Court this month.
Okay, so that's Cymbalingam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the hope is that that will end this year.
Yes.
Finally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this year, if not the first couple months. And, I
Okay.
mean, you can't go past the Supreme Court,
All right. Well, you could make a federal case.
know, so you can't go, yeah.
Good luck on that one.
But I was able to work with the attorney and the monthly fee to remain at $13.50. So, and then the $13.50, and then you add in a little bit from the land use, it's about close to 20.
I know you can't discuss details, but is there anything else out there that would affect legal?
16,000. No, we got the decision 2 days ago in the Fairpoint case. So it seems like that's finally wrapped up.
After all those years.
Yeah. Well,
Unbelievable.
I
huh?
don't, yeah,
Wow.
that one, I don't think the town should have got,
Wow.
I don't think the town should have got involved in that one myself.
Yeah.
Because we probably ended up paying more in legal expenses than what it would have been on the abatement. After all said and done, I mean, that case has been going on for easily 5 years.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So is
Oh,
the
I mean, we
lawyers.
could have got out a couple years ago, but we didn't have the money to reimburse the abatement.
Oh.
You had to pay back if you settled. So yeah, I mean, Jeanette, you do the $13.50 a month for the Mitchell group, that leaves about $4,000 left. You're about the 20 grand.
Stipend and 4,000
Yeah.
extra is what's in there. Okay. And it's gonna be the contingency fund.
Yeah, it's 3,800. So then, yeah, then the contingency.
Well, it's a plan, but it's one of those plans that go awry.
Yeah, you never know, you know.
Well, as a
And yeah,
plumber-
I honestly, I do work on the lawyers a little bit when it comes to that, for example. You know, we just redid our personnel handbook, and the attorney worked with me and didn't charge us on that. He was able to put on the-
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What, I missed, what were we, up to in legal?
Oh, easily 45,000,
Okay, sorry, I had a customer.
45,000. And that doesn't include November and December.
Is that including the, lawsuit?
Yes.
What you
Do we
said-
know how much that has cost us? Did you mention that?
Last I kept track, it was easily 150, and that doesn't include,
Oh, it was way over there.
this year. So if I were to guess, I mean, easily over 200. My last spreadsheet that I looked at that I had created was 156. And well, you add in the 40 right now, it's probably close to 200,000.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Yeah.
Thanks.
Would he be paying the same amounts roughly? Probably. I don't know what I'm just curious. You have no idea, I suppose, but.
I have no idea.
I think his was all paid for. I think he had an attorney though.
You can ask for reimbursement, but I believe it got denied.
Okay.
And I got told that usually they don't give reimbursements, especially for the plaintiffs or to the defense.
But you're not paying his bills, so.
Okay, anything else?
Legal.
I just have a question, David, when we do the library, are you going to do it?
Well, actually, I think the library trustees would like to come. They usually do.
Okay, when we set the date for the next meeting, let's plan on them. And let's plan on the town clerk tax collector, because she's elected, so she'll be presenting it herself, right, Charlie?
Yeah, I can't really speak for the library people, but.
No, that's
it's on
fine.
their schedule.
Whatever we set the date for the next meeting, if they could come, and then, what do you think about doing highway too that night, Charlie?
What night are you guys thinking?
Whatever night we pick.
Are you done talking everything in the budget now?
Lee, did you have any more questions about the budget?
Yeah, I just, we were talking about July 4th and that,
Mhm.
the PD, which is on 26, which is the detail work.
Detail, yep.
Other than state, I believe they can be reimbursed.
That is an accounts payable and should not be a taxation. How that works is if they get a detail, let's pick on Eversource again, comes in, well, no, give me another one, Lee. Not Eversource. Town would do a detail for Eversource. Or Comcast, let's pick on Comcast. Comcast needs a detail for something. The town office sends the bill to, we send it to Comcast and then they reimburse it, right? So it's about $80. It's an accounts payable transaction, right? So we cut a check, in turn cut the check to the police officer that does the detail, right? So if we shouldn't put that in the budget when it's an account payable to a company, because for example, if we put $3,000 in there that we do, and we only do $1,000 in detail, well, you know what? We're still taxing the taxpayers $2,000. And that's not right.
Well, what I'm saying is, part of that,
You don't have to.
if it's a state, if you're doing detail for the state's not gonna reimburse you, normally
Yeah.
speaking.
Yeah.
So it's possible, like they were shimming up
Right.
Route 3 down there,
Yeah.
what was it, last week or something like that?
Yeah.
If they bring their own people, but.
Yeah.
If they wanted for officers, then the town would pay for that.
Yeah.
So you probably, if you're gonna do that, you might want to drop it to say 500 or something like
Well,
that.
no,
instead of
because
3,000.
no, there shouldn't be anything in there, because again, if we don't pay it, we still have to collect that from the taxpayers. Unless I put it on the revenue side of things, and I can't assure that's what we're gonna get. So it's an account payable.
Well, then
I mean, if you want, you know what I mean? You would have to put it on the revenue. Otherwise, if you don't put it on the revenue, then it's taxation. So we shouldn't tax on a sort of like a whim on whether or not we're going to receive that money. Because if you don't receive it, it goes into your tax levy.
Well, then you should do the same thing. If you're gonna take that out, you should do the same thing with the street lighting, which is on page 33. Because that's totaled into your. the
Yeah,
bottom line
yeah,
right now.
Long said you probably could. You probably could. Yep,
Because that's 42,000 right there.
yeah. Yep.
And between the two, you're talking 45,000, you're starting to talk some money.
Yep. Yeah, and, technically, I guess you could say you could leave the $3,000 in there on the revenue, but we weren't claiming it on the revenue.
Oh, the
Anybody have
revenue-
any other questions?
Yeah, the revenue,
Yeah.
we're not all in charge of the revenue, so to speak. We're in charge of the budget.
Just a second, sure.
So the budget includes the revenue.
Yes.
We have to.
Well,
approve the
yeah,
revenue.
to a point,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
adjust it.
Okay, Sherry? Sherry?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Try to take this. All right, can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay. So page 8, land, land board use.
Are you in the book?
Actually in like the spreadsheet one. I don't know what page it was in the book.
22.
22.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Sherry.
So they really, in their actual, like on their legal line, 330, they've
Mhm.
spent like $300 or whatever, but you're still giving them 3,000.
No,
No.
No, we're not giving them
we
any.
dropped it to $1.
All right, wait a minute. It's not the same as this. Okay.
Because you might not have been on earlier. Like I said earlier, I understand fully that there's a difference between what land use might need for council and the town council in the event that there's ever a case that involves land use and the board of selectmen. Obviously, they need different counsel, but to me, legal's legal. So the line would be expense from the legal section of the budget.
The default line for that is $3,000.
Yep, I see that now.
Okay,
Okay, I was looking at that spreadsheet and still
That's-
going off that and.
Yep.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I said before, the line hasn't really been used for a while.
Yeah,
So we need,
and like there were 300s and whatever, and they had, okay.
Yep.
How many land transactions have we done this year?
I don't know how much, that would be on the revenue side of things, on how much they brought in.
All right, I'll look. Thank you.
And permits, building permits, electric permits.
no, well,
Go ahead, Eli.
if it's land transactions, is that whether people have sold property in town? Or is it the number of cases that they've had?
Gary?
I don't know. I'd like to know how many cases they've had this year.
We can get that for you.
Okay,
But to give you a general idea, with the building permits, that's land use activity. And the revenue for building, electric, plumbing, driveway permits, all the revenue for those are up. So there's been more building and activity this year than prior years.
That's not land use.
yeah, but that's not land use. That doesn't go under land use. She's not the building inspector, right?
No.
Is she the building inspector too?
Yes. Yeah, but I think you're
Oh,
talking
the
about,
land clerk is,
Yep.
wait a minute, say that again. I'm sorry. The land clerk is now the building inspector?
no, the land use helps with building inspection.
Handles the paperwork,
The paper, the admins aspect of
the
it.
admin side.
Okay.
You sort of skipped over personnel administration.
Mhm.
I was just wondering about the increases in medical insurance and retirement. Is that just rates increasing? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that in retirement, retirement increase, that's based off of salaries. So once the, once
Okay.
the 3% goes in, you have to budget for those wages.
Okay.
In
so
New Hampshire retirement system went up on their rates.
Rates and salaries went up. Okay.
No. Group 1 and group 2 rates went up. It's about 13% for group 1 and 30% for group 2. The New Hampshire retirement system
Okay.
charges against the salaries. Group 2 is police and full-time police and fire. Group 1 is
Everybody else.
public service employees, school and stuff.
I have a question for you.
Okay, Sandra?
I went back to the fire department. Can you explain to me again why the salary line is so high?
It wasn't, the fire department wasn't properly, Steve presented to us that he wasn't properly budgeted for. In the prior year, he only budgeted for half the year. And then last year went default. So he was not able to fully fund it. The reason why you're sort of, as he explained it to us, so close to the budget as we speak now, is because the fire chief has been picking up some of those per diem hours to really help save his budget. So what he did, and sorry, I don't have it with me, but he presented to us a average of the per diem program. And it was, I
What is
think,
the per diem program?
the per diem program, it's essentially it's a staff and firefighters, firefighter EMT, 2 of them. The attempt is to staff 2 of them during the days.
Is this new?
No, this went in 2 years ago.
This was, it was started last year.
Yeah, there's a Warren article that he requested 55,000 be added to the budget for the program. But the article was only for half the year. Right?
I
So-
talked with him. He said the program's working out really well.
Yeah.
But the
yeah,
only reason I'm asking is
saving
I'm looking
lives.
from previous years
yeah.
and, like back in, 17, 18, do you see what it was?
Yeah, because you can see right here, 122, and then
Right.
the average, he got the article that passed for 55,000. That's why this year it went to 177. Because the article passed and you got the okay from the public voters to add it to the budget.
All right, so we're increasing it by about 18,000.
Yeah, so
That's more than a 3%.
I asked, and this is for Lee, I mean, initially I only had the 3%, and then I
Right.
asked to Steve, I said, how did you come up with your
Yeah,
195? And he explained it to us. It's about $15 average for all of the per diem. And then it's, you multiply that out by 9 hours for one guy, then of course you double it. And to get to, I think it was close to 100 or thereabout. And then included in that line is the on-call pay for firefighters. We have to budget for that. And then of course the chief's salary. So you've got chief salary, on-call, in the per diem program. And then we increased it to 3% because some firefighters haven't seen a raise since 2009.
2009.
Mhm. Yeah, they have a wage scale
Mhm.
that has not been updated since 2009.
I think their on-call should be separated, not included in the salary line. It's,
Well, what else would it be? I mean, it's salary, isn't it? Being paid an hourly wage.
Mhm.
I don't know what else you could call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think in other departments like police, we include on-call in salaries, right?
No, on-call separate.
it's all separate.
That
I'm
one's
not gonna
separate.
argue with you, but
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
yes, it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a point then.
And I know that even medical, when I was on call, it was separated.
Okay.
I think it's transparent. You know, we're talking about transparency.
Mhm.
Anyone else have anything
Where are
else
we?
they want to bring up?
Last, David, you were on land use. After that is general government buildings. That's under the executive. The big point I guess I would make here is the 01419410611,
Okay.
page 23 of the expenditure handbook. Now, you'll see the total request is $3,000 less than last year. Primarily that's in supply, safety equipment, general expense use. But I bring up the repair, replace, upgrade line because a lot of departments had a build-in expense line. And I reduced those lines to $1 in case of emergencies, I guess. The reason being is I added up all of what was being expended between all the departments, and it was about $18,000. So, you know, in essence, about double that was being over budgeted. So the plan next year is if the department heads have any building maintenance for their building, and we're going to expend it from this general government building line. And then if there's anything that's above and beyond that we go over this 18,000, we need a new door, you need a new roof, we'll expend it from the capital reserve funds. Go ahead.
Just a question, the new door up there at Town Hall, did that come out of the?
Nope. That
Okay,
came out of, I got the approval to take that out of capital reserve last night.
okay.
Initially, we wanted to take that from COVID, but all the money from COVID ran up. I mean, we kind of, in all honesty, we sort of stumbled upon that one. It needed to be, the new door needed to be changed for a while. It's not energy efficient.
Are
during
they
the
gonna
winter.
put a slot in there? So that
That's-
people-
We're gonna buy,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Patsy ordered a stand next to it. Initially, they wanted to, but then the ladies, and all of us actually didn't think it looked good.
So where's the stand gonna be, outside?
Yeah, well, underneath, on the left-hand side, when you open the door, instead it'll be on the left-hand side, like a drop
So that
box.
door's gonna be open all the time?
No,
No.
So, because like over the weekend, I wanted to drop off the.
yeah, there's gotta be
the
like
electric-
a mail slot type thing, but it's gonna be locked.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I wanted to drop off my electric payment
Yeah.
over the weekend and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We bought a steel frame drop slot.
Okay.
It's just gonna stand
But
on,
that's gonna be just inside that door.
no, it's
No,
gonna
it's
be
gonna be
on,
on the
it's gonna be outside,
Okay,
bolted to the
Yeah.
the
all
concrete.
right.
So that you can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't want to cut it open. But we thought about putting in a buzzer system to buzz people in at one at a time, because so people don't congregate in the foyer there. I don't know where that's going to go, but the building needed a new door. Which I don't know if anyone's seen it. It works great. It closed behind you.
Yeah.
Now we don't have, that area gets really cold. It used to get really cold during the winter.
I was wondering about covered bridge telephone and electricity. The $200 will cover that, the fire alarm and everything. It does, okay. Remember why it was 600
I
before?
don't either.
I was trying to look it up, but I couldn't find.
Yeah, so if you look at it right now, David, there's only been $106 expended.
But we are, that seems low. We are covering the fire alarm and the monitoring of the fire alarm, and
Yes.
because covered bridges are notoriously subject to fires. and
Yep.
So you want to get the fire department there quickly if you can.
Especially if you've got certain residents in town that threaten to burn it.
Really?
Well, he no longer is here in town.
Oh, that guy, yeah. We put no char on it.
Oh,
so
I found
hopefully-
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it.
So
In
any
the
other,
past, it's been like, 358, 338, 347. Yeah.
are there any other questions?
I wouldn't have reduced it if it hadn't been extended. You
Yeah.
know, I really stuck to the averages that was in there. And then I looked at where it was currently and said, look, if we wanted to really reduce this budget and look at it, that's some type of risk that we're gonna have to take.
But
Right? And I mean, you had $106 and there's 2 months left. I mean, I think if you spend $100 in the next 2 months, you should be.
okay, as
Safe.
long as the service is still there, the fire alarm is working and everything.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
Please?
On page 24 on the insurance,
Mhm.
where it says workers' compensation,
Yeah, those numbers aren't finalized. I'm gonna have to come back to the budget committee on those. I'm still waiting to hear back from Primex on those.
but does that include the utilities too, or just the,
I don't believe it does.
okay,
I don't believe it does.
well, it
No.
should be paid for by the utilities as well.
Yeah, we separated it out. Yeah, we separated it out.
So
Those
what-
numbers, speaking of the bridge, there is a little bit, there's a supplemental in that property and liability for the covered bridge.
Mhm.
Well, another real quick thing for the budget committee about bridges. I'm gonna recommend that we change our road improvement capital reserve fund to road and bridges. Patsy's been telling me for years we needed one. And so this year, instead of creating an entire different capital reserve fund, I recommended to Craig that we change it to road and bridges. There's about $300,000 in that capital reserve. Right now, the thought was that 300,000 opens up more than asking for $10,000 a year. 10,000 a year would not be enough to repair these bridges if something were to happen. So he'll have a little bit more flexibility to maintain the bridges as we go forward.
So,
Because there's more than just the covered bridge. There's the one down here on West Street. That one needs work. That one's really concerning to me because a lot of the septic trucks shortcut through there to get over here.
West Street? Oh, you mean Collins Street?
Oh, one over.
Collins,
Collins Street.
Collins Street.
West Street just goes to the liquor store. And
Winter Street.
Winter Street, sorry,
Winter Street,
Winter
okay.
Street, Winter Street, excuse me, Winter Street. I get Winter and West mixed up, but Winter Street, but yeah, they don't like going down through town
Right,
and then all that weight going over that bridge.
right.
DPW director's pulling his hair out because that does damage, a lot of damage to the bridge. That we're gonna have to, the town's gonna have to take care of it someday. It's not a state-owned bridge. And the other one is over here on Mill Street. Those are the two that jump out.
I have a quick question, well, because it's getting late and we had voted before to keep it to 2 hours. How does December 8th look for everybody?
What?
It's the second Tuesday.
December 8th. Well, this calendar, I don't have anything, just one school board meeting. So,
Oh, 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock, I think it's good. Does everybody like 3? I think 3 is great.
December 8th is the.
I'm sorry, no, I don't think 3 o'clock's great because I have to work for a living.
Well, it's good for Charlie because Charlie wants to be here too. So 3 o'clock seemed to work for a majority.
Is that a Tuesday?
Yeah,
I believe that's a school board meeting.
on the second Tuesday?
Oh, is it the second Tuesday?
Yeah.
That's second Tuesday.
yeah, I have December 1st, the school board. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's right, but
Well,
it's from something.
it is if it's the first.
How is 3
Tuesday.
o'clock? Is 3 o'clock good for you?
Yeah, not here.
Is 3 o'clock good for you, David?
Well, I would.
It's good for
I think
Char-
Sue should, Sherry.
I know
should
that,
have a
but
chance to
Charlie, 3 is good for Charlie. I'm just trying to figure out the majority.
And I can lose money. I have to shut my business down to come to the meeting, but it's okay for Charlie not to stay.
Sherry, you had
No.
said Monday and Thursdays were the nights, and that's what I tried to work around.
But during the middle of the business day where I own a small business in town, is kind of disrespectful to me, but you guys decide whatever you want to do.
Have we
David,
asked-
if you agree, then you figure it out.
What? Well, how about the new guy? We asked him what. he
I
said.
already asked him. He can come anytime.
Anytime.
Yep,
And 3 is.
yep,
works for
fine
him?
with him.
Let me ask Sherry something. Would before 3 o'clock on a Tuesday work better?
I'm open from 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Well, then it isn't gonna work. for-
Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and half a day on Saturday. And I work my other job on Mondays and Thursdays.
What's your other job hours?
It depends what they need me for.
No. I was just wondering about Thursdays.
All right, I want to see how many can do December 8th at 3 o'clock. Sandra, you said you could? I can. Charlie likes 3.
I can
David?
do it, yeah.
David, Lee?
I prefer later, but
But you could do 3.
if I have to, I.
Eli, is 3 okay with you?
Yep, it's also it would be better for the department heads too.
That's right, it would be. Right. Sherry, is there any way you can try to work it out? Because the majority is 3 at 3 o'clock.
So we're not meeting again for 4 weeks?
Nope, you just do what you gotta do.
We met in November 10th, and then we've got Thanksgiving coming up, so I figured November 8th.
December.
Okay,
December 8th.
we're gonna have to do the whole budget and vote on it before.
We'll be fine, David. We have plenty of time. We've
Okay.
done that.
Yeah,
before.
I think January 12th
Yeah,
is the public hearing, last day for the public hearing, if I remember correctly. I think it's last day to get petition warrant articles is the
that's,
12th.
yeah, we usually do it between,
Oh,
I think between the 12th and the 19th.
Yeah.
Oh,
Either the 12th or the 19th, you have to have the
So-
public hearing by, but I think it's,
Charlie, at the next meeting, we'll do library. If David, do you want to mention it to them?
Okay, you want December 8th for, all you can ask, I think it'll probably work.
And then, do you want me to ask Patsy or do you want to
I
ask
can,
Patsy?
sure.
Now we're.
And
okay.
what about the highway department that night?
You just let me know and I can ask.
And at least you could see if they would like to
Yeah.
join you. How would that be?
Yeah.
Would that work out good?
Yeah,
Okay. So if we did highway, election, the town clerk, tax collector, the library, do you think we could do one more or you think 3 would be enough?
The library would be quick.
Yeah,
Yeah, election, well, it's a little more complicated.
Election
It
would be-
Probably be quick.
would be pretty quick.
Yeah, next year's an off year for election.
Right.
I think 4 this year, was it 3 this year or 4?
Do you want to do highway and police maybe
Sure.
that night?
So four groups?
Yeah, because Patsy shouldn't take long. She usually doesn't. Library shouldn't take long.
Hmm.
So we should be able to do the highway, the police, the town clerk,
Mhm.
and the library. We should have time to do all 4. Don't you think?
In 2 hours? Probably. I don't know.
I think we should. There isn't any, sometimes if there's controversy over something or some big item, then it takes longer, but I don't think it looks like there is.
Well, I guess one question is, are there warrant articles? When are we gonna get those? I mean, and do we want, I don't know if there are any for the highway or police.
There's 4 right now, 2 from public safety that the police and fire are working on. And that's about it. I mean.
Wait a minute, you
it-
said 4 warrant articles, 2 from public safety.
Yeah, the police department is gonna move forward with the body camera.
One police, and what's the other one?
The other one for PD is, it's called MDT. I forget what it's about. It's about, I know what it's about. I forget what those stand for. It's about putting computers into the police vehicles. And one's a defibrillator for the fire department, and there's one more. I don't have it. I mean, I can't get to my
So there's
computer.
more than 4 of them.
Well, those, I mean, the only 4 from the department heads. And then,
Oh,
of course,
okay.
you're gonna have the capital reserve funds, but I don't expect anything in prior years when it comes to lending and having public hearings.
When do you have to have those warrant articles done?
Well,
Well,
So you need to get them to us then pretty soon.
yeah, it's not, I mean,
It's gonna be a short list.
it's gonna be a short list.
That's what
You
you
know,
said. I mean, last
yeah.
time we had quite a few of them.
Yeah, but I don't know what you're gonna, I mean, we have 2 from the nonprofits. And then there's a couple, I think there might be a few changes about, changing the road improvement one is one, the fire. I think the fire department has another one that's non-monetary ones. Let me put it that way. There's a few non-monetary ones.
I'll never have mine done. I haven't even started, so I probably won't have it ready.
You do it and I'll get the signatures for you. Use your one from last year.
I have it with me, but
Then
I haven't even started.
Give it to me. I'll get the signatures.
Then, of course, I don't know what else we might receive for petition warrant articles.
Hmm.
4th of July one doesn't seem to have any money in
No.
it, so. It's directions.
Yeah. No. But we are taking a good look at the capital reserve funds. I've already started to talk to the department's heads on those. And of course, you guys have the balances or thereof in your budget. book.
Yeah.
They're in the back.
Now, Charlie, do those petition warrant articles have to be in by the 12th? I have to be in before
Yes,
that.
That's the last
day.
day.
That's the last
Yeah.
Oh,
day.
good time. Sandra, get it to me and I'll get them for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna, I thought I had it with me.
Is that for Daily?
Yeah.
But I always tell people it's best to probably get them in there before Christmas because cutting it close with the
Oh,
12th, you gotta,
Charlie, you're just pushing me.
you gotta make sure the clerk can
Yeah, I know.
certify them. And if she's out or something.
Well, I'm gonna help her this year.
Oh, I just don't have it with me.
What's that? The SB2 timeline?
No.
No,
my
her petition warrant articles for
I thought I
Daily
had it with
program.
I
Yeah.
think I gave everyone copies of those,
Use the one.
Yes, you did.
the SB2 timelines. So,
I don't have it with me.
Yeah, she did it, yeah.
Okay, so David, you're gonna take care of the library. You will talk with them, you said. Charlie's gonna talk to Patsy and he'll do the highway and police, and he's gonna request if they would like to come with him, okay? Because I know the budget committee really likes to have the department heads here.
So that would leave fire and park and rec and.
Fire,
And utilities.
fire, park and rec, water and sewer and electric.
Yeah, that seems doable.
So we should be able to do that, okay?
There's still a few odd things like animal control
Yeah, those are pretty
and
much,
patriotic purposes. I know the 4th of July committee chairman wants to show up for that, to discuss that with him at some point.
well, I already got a phone call, so I said that I would bring it up, so, which I did tonight.
But he probably should be scheduled in somewhere.
He didn't say anything to me about being scheduled in, so I will talk with him.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he said at the last meeting that he was gonna ask to be.
Because when he called me and asked me, he just said, will you bring it up? And I said, yes, definitely.
Oh.
That's all he said. And I said, I'll talk with the budget committee, see if they can,
I think it, our.
okay, about putting it
last
back
meeting,
in.
I don't know if he's talked to you yet, but he was going to represent.
When was the last meeting?
Oh,
Was it a while
last
ago?
month, Yeah,
Oh, well, then he's talked to me. He talked to me about a week ago.
oh. Well, I'm pretty sure, well,
Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't matter to me. Welcome to
we
come.
have a meeting next week anyways, we'll bring it up again.
Okay.
Wanted to.
Where do you have your meetings? You have it on, oh, you have it on the phone?
Yeah, we're on Zoom now. Or on phone.
Lee, did you have something else?
Did you vote on filling up the vacant position?
Yes.
Oh, yes. David.
David,
who's the last
David.
name? Yeah.
Because I wasn't here, so.
Yeah.
So of course, you're gonna call him and
Just
get him.
thought I'd
I'm
ask.
gonna call him, plus I have the paperwork right here. If you can sign
And I believe the term is only until
Mark.
March,
March.
and then then they have to run again.
You're gonna vote for him, aren't you?
Am I gonna vote for him?
Doesn't matter now,
I
they
said-
already
I
voted.
said-
What a thing to ask him.
I seconded the motion last time.
If there isn't anything else, does anybody have anything else to bring up? There being
Yeah.
nothing.
Sure.
Very
we
good.
do.
I have a couple things, actually. I had a few phone calls about your last meeting, and I want to know who wants to address me. And I find it odd that you reprimanded me about wearing a mask and you've had yours off for about 5-6 minutes.
I'm sorry, I
Um,
didn't realize I did.
So, and I'm not there, but that's okay, but you reprimanded me on it, so I'm just bringing that to a point. Was there something that someone wanted to speak to me about? Because respect is earned. You all had 4.5 minutes to talk about me last meeting. Come on, someone. No one? You all had something to say last meeting, but no one's gonna speak up to my face? I just find it very disrespectful that you're gonna hold a meeting at 3 o'clock while I'm a small business in town to make it convenient for other people also. But I'm only one person, I'm not the majority, and I understand that. I still think it's a little disrespectful that I have to shut my door or not be there, whether you want me there or not. If you want respect, I'll give you respect. If you respond and give me respect also. So that being said, if no one has anything else to say, you all had something to say last meeting, but you don't have the guts to say it now or say it to my face.
I believe this member should terminate her conversation and we need to move on.
I am going to adjourn the meeting at 5:01 PM.